Welcome to toy-polloi. Parental guidance. This video contains scenes of Lego destruction.
Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. And today we're going to be taking a look at Slave 1 and specifically the ramp that is always missing at the back of Slave 1, because this is something I get asked about pretty much constantly. Every week I'll get an email from someone saying they've been restoring a Slave 1 and the one part they cannot find is the missing ramp. And I have to say, I have got quite a few Slave 1s in my collection, and I only have one ramp in my entire collection, which is this one here. I've just taken it off the one I have displayed on my wall here at toy-polloi to put in here so you can see it. And it's such a common piece that's missing. I don't know why it's taken me so long to sort of work out a fix. So over the last few weeks I've been sort of playing around, making up some sort of ideas of what I can do, and we're going to cover that today, and I'll show you what I've made. And it's something that everyone would be able to sort of have a go at making. It's not overly complicated, but it does the job very nicely. So let's take a look at some of the prototypes I've been working on, and I'll show you sort of how I've come to the final design. So here is my Slave 1 with the original ramp in place, and you can see here it sort of clips in place. You sort of put it like that and it will slide down, and then it sits so that Boba Fett can offload the Han and carbonite block down here. And then once it's sort of back in place, you sort of click it in place and it sits nicely. You can also put this back panel on, and that's how you often see this ship like that, with it all sort of covered up. But more often than not, when you're collecting, it will look like this. So this is another Slave 1 in my collection, and that back ramp is missing. I'd say most of the times if I've got a Slave 1, I will display it by taking the Han and carbonite block and just sort of pushing that into the gap there, and that was how I'll display Slave 1, because it looks all right, and it means that you can still see the Han carbonite block, but it's not correct. So as I mentioned, over the last sort of few weeks I've been thinking, how could I go about making a new ramp for this? It's a fairly sort of complicated sort of process or complicated shape, and I really wasn't sure how I was going to do it. I'll bring in the original ramp so you can see here what it is like. It's a gentle curve. It's got two little pegs at the top which fit into these slots on the back of Slave 1. It's also got another couple of little bits that sort of grip at the bottom so that the ramp doesn't fall out, and then it has this curved end. Overall it is a pretty complicated shape, even though it looks simple. Making something like this is going to be pretty complicated, and I've seen a few people who sell reproductions online, but they're very expensive. In fact, more expensive than most Slave 1s will cost you. I think this Slave 1 here cost me sort of £5 or £10, including the Han and carbonite block here, and the replacement ramps I've seen for sort of £20 to £30. And I'm guessing it's just because it's an awkward thing to make. It's quite a big shape, so it takes a lot of casting. So what I'm going to do today is make something much cheaper than that just sort of looks the part. As I say, I've been working on some prototypes, and I'll bring in them so you can see my sort of thought process. The original thing I did was I made a cardboard version, just a sort of simple design, just to see how easy it was going to be to make something. So I made a sort of template of this curve here and worked out the distance between everything. And so I cut a few of these templates to make a block, and then bent a piece of cardboard over like that. And you can see this does actually fit in. A little bit of fiddling about, but it does actually fit in place. And you can see that that sort of does the job. If I was to paint that black, that would actually not look too bad. It doesn't have the curve at the bottom, but actually that doesn't really matter. If that was black, it would look pretty reasonable. So once I'd made that, I thought, well, actually, let's try and make that out of plastic. So I was going to use this as a sort of guide or a template. You could buy 2mm black plastic styrene sheets. So I bought some of that, cut it to size, and I thought, well, the way to do this is to heat it up with a hot air gun, and it should just drape over this, and we'll end up with a shape. And this was my first attempt, and you can see it did bend, but it ended up with a very distorted shape, because actually the hot air gun tends to melt this plastic, and you can see it's distorted it, really quite sort of bowed it and bent it. So I thought I'd give it one more go. This was my second attempt. Again, slightly better. It's a slightly better shape, but the curve didn't work, and again it was all distorted. So at that point I thought, well, I'm obviously doing this the wrong way. The simple way is actually just to cut a piece of this styrene, and then we'll shape it using some hot water, and that's what I did. So that's the process we're going to do now. I'll show you exactly how I go through this process, and we'll make a new ramp, and we'll also attach some little pegs that fit into these runners, and we'll get a ramp that works. Here we have a sheet of black styrene. You can pick this up at model shops, or you can order it online. This is 2mm in thickness, and this is going to be perfect because we obviously want this ramp to be black. You can buy it in white. I've shown you this before using on other projects. So this is a sheet of white stuff, but the black is going to be perfect for this because it saves us having to paint anything, and we can just sort of get this fitted and it will look right without any extra effort. The first thing to do is we actually need to work out how wide the ramp needs to be. So I have a ruler here. I'm going to measure across the bottom, and that's going to be, that looks like 47 millimeters. We'll double check at the top that that is the same, and that is the same, so 47 millimeters. So we're going to cut a strip of this that is 47 millimeters wide, and then we can work out how long it needs to be. But the first thing to do is actually just get this strip cut. So I'm going to measure here at the bottom. That is 47 millimeters. Just mark that with a pencil, and we'll do the same up here. Like so. And we need to draw a line between those 2 points. That's why this other piece of styrene is here. I don't have a ruler long enough, but this styrene has a nice square straight edge. There we go. Now we need to cut that. And to cut styrene, you just need a knife. Again, we'll use this nice straight edge to score along. You don't actually have to cut through, you just got to sort of do a deepish score, and then the styrene will break when you bend it. So I'll just cut this neatly like so. Okay, so you can see there's a score line on that, and if we just bend this, it will snap nice and neatly along that line. There we go, that's the 47 millimeter wide ramp, the starting point anyway. I would say that fits in really well. Now the ramp obviously has a curve on it, but we need to work out how long that piece needs to be. So what we do is we're going to take the ruler and we can roll it along the edge like so, and that will give us the length. Actually, I need to do it this way round because my ruler only has centimeters and millimeters on one side. So I'm going to hold it at the top like that, and gently sort of roll it around and keep it so that it is moving with it. Get to the end. I'm going to say that is 9 centimeters, so 90 millimeters. That's what we're going to cut this piece of plastic to. Again, we'll just measure it and then cut it, and it will snap when we give it a bend. So there you go, that's the 47 millimeter wide by 90 millimeter long piece of styrene. As you can see, actually that just fits in quite nicely. You could, if you really didn't want to do the next stage, you could just sort of put that in, and it's a good placeholder. It doesn't look perfect, but it sort of covers the gap. What we're going to do next though is to add that subtle curve to this so that it sits properly and sort of matches up with either side of slave one. So let's get this piece of styrene gently curved. To bend the styrene sheet, we are going to use just boiled water. So I do need to say, sort of be careful when doing this, and do make sure that you don't burn yourself, because the water is very hot. All we're going to do is I'm going to fill this up with some freshly boiled water. I've got the kettle on the floor here. I'm going to boil that in a second. We drop in the styrene sheet and we leave it for about a minute. It will start to soften. You can then take that out of here and just start sort of push it on your worktop, and it will slowly bend. And we're just going to do this by eye. I'm going to sort of bend a bit, hold it up against the back of slave one, and I'll reheat the styrene again until I manage to get a shape that matches that. There's no sort of definite way of doing it, you just have to do it by eye. But as I say, do be very careful. We're going to be using just boiled water, so it is very hot. That's been in there for a little while. Bring it out, so be very careful. I'm now just going to push this onto my worktop, and slowly we'll start to get a bend going in it. Because this is 2 millimeter thick styrene, it does take a little bit of effort to get it to bend, but you can see already there's a bit of a curve going in there. Just let that warm up again. But it is also very hot, so do be particularly careful when doing this. see already that's starting to get a nice curve to it. So we can hold that up against the back there. It's quite a subtle curve, so you don't have to go too far with it. That's actually not looking too bad already. Just want to heat up the end of that. Just bend that end piece. Now you can see the top bit is still quite straight, so I'll put that other end in and we'll just warm that up. And we'll do the same to that. It's a sort of slow process, there's no quick way of doing this, but it can be done just with a bit of perseverance. There you go, it's quite a subtle curve we're getting. Let's slot that into here. Yeah, it's not looking bad actually. I think that's going to work. I'll just move that out of the way so you can see. It just is a subtle curve. I think I might have cut this a little bit too wide. Oh no, that's pretty good actually. Yeah, you can see that's starting to fit pretty well. It's a little bit more of a bend in the middle, but I think we're getting there. And once you're sort of happy with the shape, then let it cool fully, and it should stay in that nice curve. Then we can start sort of filing off some of the edges and we'll make this fit a little bit better. We'll also need to add in the two little pegs at the top so that it holds into these grooves. I think for now that's enough of a curve and that's going to work quite nicely. Okay, so now we have the basis of a ramp that fits. We can do a little bit of shaping to it. I want to take off these sharp corners that we have at the bottom, so I'm just going to file those off. I've actually got a nail file here which will be enough to sort of file those down. Then we can turn this over and we'll add the little pegs on the top of it. First thing though, just get this nail file and we can shape these corners so they're a little bit rounder, and it will fit in a little bit nicer into that slot there on the back of Slave 1. And there you go, just by rounding off those corners, that makes that sort of fit a bit nicer on the back there. So now let's go ahead and we are going to make some little sort of pegs to go across the top here, and for that we are going to be using Lego, which is my favourite resource for doing all of these things. I've brought in my Lego pot here, which is all the sort of useful bits that I store for working on projects, and I know that I have these black Lego antenna or aerials. I've used these many times before on all sorts of projects. They are the most useful thing to have, and I know I've always got them in stock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the little sort of peg bit at the end of that, and then I'm going to use some plastic weld to stick that on there. It needs to stick out about sort of 2 millimeters. I will cut another one and stick it on that way round, and then we'll have 2 little pegs either side. So let's get these modified and we'll stick them in place. I'm going to be using plastic weld because that does stick Lego particularly well and works incredibly well with styrene, so we're going to stick these two together with very little effort. So I have an aerial here, and I'm going to get my plastic nippers. We're just going to cut off that end with the sort of the Lego connector piece on it. Cut that off like that, and we're going to stick that onto here. It's very easy to do with plastic weld, so I've got some plastic weld here, and then I have a brush, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this where I want it to be. We'll do one side first and then we'll get the other side on. Use this as a sort of way of lining up. So I want it to be a few millimeters from the end, and we need the peg to be sticking out a few millimeters. I'm then going to get some plastic weld on this brush. I'm just going to brush it along the join there, and it will go off very quickly. So I'll just leave that a second, and we can put some more plastic weld around all the other sides of it. But if I just do that, you can see that is now stuck. I'll get some more plastic weld, and I'm going to sort of drop that on this side, and this produces what's supposedly a weld as strong as sort of the 2 bits of plastic being sort of joined in the factory. Like so, because it's the underside, I'm not worried too much about it. So that's one peg piece on, and what we do is we're going to take the other bit of Lego aerial, cut the end off. I want this to be neat, so I'm actually going to try and line these up so it actually looks like one continuous piece of plastic. So I'm just going to sort of gauge how much I need to cut off the end of that. Hold that up. That is about perfect. So again, just going to hold that in place with my thumb. That lined up neatly. So, a bit more plastic weld. We'll let that set. Like so. And then we can finally sort of push that in place. We put some over the join, a bit along that edge. There we go, we've now got a bar of Lego along the top. Again, I'm actually going to use this plastic board for another purpose. Because this has been cut, the styrene has a fairly rough edge to it. Even though I've sanded it a little bit, you can see it's got a sort of white finish to it, but where it's sort of rough plastic, if we just very carefully take a bit of plastic weld and paint that along the edge of this, it will soften that surface and you'll end up with actually quite a nice shiny looking plastic finish, which looks much more in keeping with the rest of the ship. Okay, you can see that looks a lot better. So I'm going to just carefully paint this all around the edge of this new ramp. So here we have the finished ramp. You can see it's got a nice curve to it, and the Lego aerials glued on there have made a pretty good, pretty strong connecting system which should fit in the slots on either side at the back here of Slave 1. So I'm just going to slot that in place, and you can see that fits quite nicely. I can also open it the other way, open it at the bottom, and we can also slide this down to do the same sort of job that the original ramp had. So we'll slide that down and that works nicely. Let me put the rest of Slave 1 together and we'll compare this to the original ramp that came with the vehicle. And here are the two ramps side by side. So on the right we have the original Slave 1 ramp. You can see that sort of slides down as I showed you earlier, and we can slide that back up in place and it will hook on there. And this is the one that I've just made out of a piece of styrene. So you can see that does slide down to the bottom and we can slide that up. It's a little bit stiffer to slide up just because the Lego pegs are a tad larger than the pegs on there. But you can see that slides up quite nicely and then does hold in place. And the advantage I like about my ramp here is that you can actually sort of lift it up that way. If you want to drop in the Han Solo carbonite block, you can drop that in that way and then slide that down and that sort of holds in place. So it's a pretty good sort of replacement. Obviously it's not quite as detailed as the original. It doesn't have that curve on the bottom, but I think I'm trying here to make something that everyone can have a go at making, and a simple piece of styrene like this shaped with a few bits of Lego on is something that most people can certainly have a go at making. I may come back to this. I may actually make a sort of custom sticker to go on the top of here. As you see, this is my custom Slave 1 that I've shown you in multiple videos. This has custom stickers. It's also got lighting on it, so if I move Boba Fett up there and I switch the lights on, you can see inside there's a little light that lights him up, and if we open up the back there's also a light in here, so you can see that he gets lit up inside, and there's also lights on the bottom. I'll put a link to this video in the description if you want to see how this one was made, because this is something that I've worked on quite a while ago, but it's certainly something that people enjoyed seeing sort of being created. But as I say, this Slave 1 ramp, I'm actually pretty pleased with how well that works. It's fairly simple to do and fairly easy for people to construct. So if you want to have a go for yourself, then just get yourself some styrene, a bit of hot water and a bit of Lego, and it's pretty easy to do. It's certainly not going to fool anyone, but that's not the point of this sort of restoration. This is making something so that this ship actually looks good on display, and I think Slave 1 now is going to be perfectly displayable with this placeholder ramp in the back. So I hope this video has been of interest to you. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified each time I upload a new video, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow toy-polloi on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.